It's Saturday morning, the fantastic Barston Lakes. This is January's Golden Rod Qualifier.
Maybe we can sleep in and skip work today. Then I'll make you scrambled eggs. We got no plans for the day. Let's stay inside and play video games. No, 'cause we both deserve this time.
Peg 103. Feels like there's a bit of space here, but that's usually because it's not such a good section. That's what happens when the pegs are spaced out. It's just I'll try and make it fairer or fish better. They space you out a little bit. So yeah, I think it can be a fair 10 peg section, to be honest. Got the island in, which I've heard did produce on the last match. But yeah, there's not a lot I can do here. I'm gonna put a line to about 30 metres, I think, for skimmers. I'm certainly not going to come any shorter than that, just because my experience on here is that a lot of the time at this time of year the fish really don't come close in. I might be wrong, but I've got to make a decision on a starting point, so that's what that's going to be. I'm going to have two rods set up on that 30 metre line. I'm going to have one with a cage feeder on and one with some form of a method feeder. So I've got an option of presenting baits differently and different baits, and then I'm obviously going to go long to start with, probably starting at about 50 metres, and then that will give me at least another 20 metres or 15-20 metres past that to work and go past later on in the match, and that's it. Probably give it 45 minutes, just keep my eyes out and eyes open about what's happening around me, and if I've not caught on that long line after 45 minutes, I'm just going to have a look short and see if there's any skimmers or any other fish shorter. Simple. It's going to be a super simple approach to start with, and just kind of get a feel for what's happening. I've got a feeling people like it when I stick my neck out and tell you what I really think at the beginning. I think a lot of you like it if I get it right, a lot of you like it when I get it completely wrong, so I'm going to do that again. I honestly think 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4 up there is going to dominate this 20 peg zone. The question is, what sort of weight is that going to be? That's the issue. 1, 2, 4 won the last match here, but it was only with £30, so that's not a mega weight, you know, and on their day you can get that weight down here. I heard there were some skimmers caught opposite the island. I'm obviously not on the island, but it just shows that you can rack up a bit of a weight when you're not up on 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4 up that way. So there's nothing I can do about that. I'm on this peg, so this is the peg I've got to fish. I've got two rods clipped up at just a 3.3 metres, same setup as you've all seen, the XS Slims, 3.3 metre with the 4000 Horizon reels. I've got those two clipped up at 30 metres, one's to fish a method with and one is set up with a cage feeder rig. That's at 30 metres, which it looks shorter than it actually is on this peg. This peg's wider than it actually looks. And then I've got my longer rod set up, which is the 3.6 metre XC with a 2 ounce tip in. That's a 5000 Horizon reel. No shock leader required on that, and that's with a method feeder. I've got that clipped up. I'm going to start at 55 metres just because it's a starting point, and I haven't cast it out yet, but I think I'm still going to have at least another 10 or 15 metres past that to explore if I need to go looking for fish later on in the match. That is really it. I'm going to give it 45 minutes on that long line and just see what reaction I get. Keep my eyes open for what's happening around me, and that'll tell me whether I need to stay on it or have a look on that 30 metre line. The key with that 30 metre line is I'm not going to feed it at the start. I'm only going to feed it, you know, about 10 minutes before I actually go on it, because I'm a big believer that you just need to leave that bit of a quiet area, but just 10 minutes to set it up really. But I'm hoping I'm not on that line. I'm hoping that long line's going to go. A quick run over the details, because I know a lot of you will be asking me. Obviously 2 nets in. You don't need to have 2 nets at this time of year. It's a very, common sense kind of rule here that Nigel runs, which is great. Obviously if you're not catching much, you've only got 2 or 3 fish, then you're alright in 1 net, but if you're catching a few, just spread them out. It's fish care. So I've got 2 in anyway, just in case. The bait tray, I know a lot of you will ask. I've got the 2mm carp and coarse pellets, the Bait Tech ones. You can feed them through the cage feeder if I feel I need to feed them, but they're also sticky enough to go around the method feeder as well, so they're quite versatile. I've got some here that I'm going to be starting off with, just coated in, some salmon fry there just to give them a boost. I'll just put that through a sieve in a few minutes. There's 20 minutes until we start, so I'm just giving them a little bit of a boost, just to give them that little bit of a fishy smell, that edge to it, you know. It's just a confidence thing really. I've got some dead fluoro pinkies and a stray swivel in there, look at that. That's not a secret hook bait. Some dead fluoro pinkies and dead reds in there, mainly for the hook, but there is enough there to feed if I am on that cage skimmer line and I want to feed some. There's enough there for me to feed. I've got some ground bait that I'm going to sieve off in a minute. Glugs, I've got a couple of glugs here. These are the original, the new stink mixers from Bait Tech. That's exactly what they are, but they are the original sample bottles. That's why they're not in the marked up bottles. I haven't got any of the new stuff yet, so I hope I'm not going to get shouted at. But they are exactly the same as what's on the shelf. One is pineapple, as you can see, and that one is, it's not marked up, but that is krill. So I'll be putting them on the feeder just to try and give the feeder and the pellets just a bit of an edge. If you're going to be 15 and 20 minutes on casts on that line, you want to be confident in what you're using, and they just kind of give me confidence on here, so that's why I'm going with them. For the hook, some 8mm juice dumbbell wafters, that we all know how successful they've been and how many fish they've caught. I've got some pellets in there as well to put on a banded pellet, and just some normal high vis round 8mm boilers as well. The good thing about them at that size as well is if there's any bream out there, then they will catch the bream as well. As you can see, the wind is really just hitting that other bank from about halfway. It's not really a wind, it's just a breeze, but I think that might help. I've seen 1 fish out there already, a good, very big fish, about halfway, but that was about half an hour ago. But even if I'm not catching on that long line, I'm sure if there's any fish out there, I'll see indications on the tip, and that will, you know, kind of give me indications about what I should be doing and where I should be doing it. So that's it. About 50 minutes to the off. Just going to sort the rest of my hooks out and stuff, and then I'll check in with you after 45 minutes. We're 5 minutes in, still on this first cast. Had a bit of a pull, it looked a bit like a liner. Like the next peg's got on, straight into one. Not fighting much, so I'm guessing it could be a skimmer or a bream. Still a promising start. Yeah, skimmer. Yeah. No, you're alright. Well, that's on that first cast, 8.5 minutes it's been in. A couple of twitches and a drop bite. I think it's a skimmer. Looks like that. Yeah. So it gives them something to do. Wind's in the other direction today, so the planes are taking off into the wind. 40 minutes gone. Kibber on my right, I think he's got 5 skimmers now. He's had them all on the method, but he's casting short. He's at about 30 metres, which is the line that I intend on going on if I've got to go for skimmers. I'm still out there on 55 metres. That was a fish there. Just as I looked up there, a fish right in the middle. I've had a couple of indications. I've had that one skimmer, which was first cast. I've had a couple of indications, liners I think, but nothing major. So Kibber's got 5 skimmers on my right. To the right of him, he's just had a carp. And I couldn't tell if he said if it was £7 or £10. I'm not sure, but it's obviously a good fish. I haven't seen any fish caught down to my left. So what I'm going to do is, I've got, that's how long it's been in so far. So when it gets to 15 minutes, I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to put 2 cages of just ground bait on my 30 metre line, and then have a 10-minute cast on this line again, just so that skimmer line's got 10 minutes just to settle, and then I'll go on that with a cage feeder and see if there's any skimmers there. No more indications on that long line now, so I'm going to have a look on that skimmer line. It's been 10 minutes. I'm just going to kick off with, I've got some 50cm hook lengths made up, but I'm just going to shorten them down to about 30cm. Just kick off with red maggot on the hook and see what reaction you get. Kibber next to me has just got another skimmer, so I think he's got 6 now. Just a nice simple free running rig today. We'll fish it with a 20 gram horizon feeder. Hit that 30 metre mark, no problem with that. Free running, just stopped. Like I say, no braid, just mono. Size 16 hook. I'm just gonna see what reaction I get on this line. I've also got a method feeder set up for this line as well, which I know that's what Kibber's catching on, but I'm just going to see if this is a better way of targeting them skimmers, just to see if there are any there and what kind of quantity they're there in. Say it's flat calm, it's amazing how much tow there is. This is a 1 ounce tip. It's just about alright. It's really surprising on these shallow lakes. That's the third cast on a cage feeder. It was only in about a minute. It's gone round and I've got feels like a decent skimmer. Just got to see now if they're going to be there in any sort of quantity. If they're not, then I might just end up sitting long and waiting for better fish, but I'll just keep going on this line and see if there are any more. Enjoy that one, did you? Yeah. Two or three little indications, but to be honest it's not really getting going on this cage line. Just had a tiniest indication. Just picked up on it and I've hooked it. I don't know if it's hooked right or not. It feels like a bream. It is a bream, nice size though. Yeah. Oh, better stamp. That's the stamp that you need if you're going to be catching them. He's hooked in the mouth anyway. I thought it might have been foul on the first practice, but just because of its size. Beautiful fish. So a load of its mates are sat there waiting for me. Single dead red on a 16. Simple as that. Well, we're just coming up to halfway and I haven't really got a clue what's happening in a minute. I've just had a little run of fish. It says skimmers, but a couple of them are probably bream. I've got about, I don't know how many I've got now, 7 or 8. But it's just not going on this skimmer line, the shorter line I've got. I've caught them all on a cage. I've kept dropping over on a method on the same line, but I haven't caught on that. I don't know why. I think that was a little indication then. The stamp of fish have been pretty good, to be fair, but I just don't know what's going on up to the right. I don't know if they're catching carp. About an hour ago I heard that Jeff Ringer on 124 had got one skimmer, but obviously that's still very early on. I don't know what he's got now. I don't know if they're catching up there, so I don't really know where I am in the zone. I'm just going to give this a little bit longer on this line just to see if it gets going. Like I say, I'm so confident that the fish are there. I really am. They're hardly moving with it. You know, there've been tiny little indications, but they've been on. There's fish there, but if you can't catch them, then you know there's not much point in being on it if you can't work it out. So I'm going to give it a bit longer on this. Like I say, it's just coming up to halfway. Kibber on my right. He's had about, I don't know how many skimmers he's had now. He must have 10 or 12 maybe. The lad to his right's got that carp, but I think he's had a big F1 as well. I've also seen him net 1 or 2 skimmers, so he must have an half decent net of fish. And as I'm talking to you, Kibber's just whacked a method longer, so it looks like his shorter line's dried up. I'm just going to have a few more casts on this just to see if I can work it out, see if I can have another run of fish, and if not, then I'm afraid I might have to spend the last 2 hours on the method long looking for carp and F1s. Well, that first cast long that I said Kibber had next to me, he was only in there 5 minutes. Next minute he's playing a great big F1, so he's got a big F1 now to go with those skimmers. I haven't had any more signs on this 30 metre line, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put 2 feederfuls in of bait on it, and then it's just really coming up to the last 2 hours now. I'm going to put a couple of feederfuls of bait in on it, come off it, and then chuck long back on that 55 metre line, see if I can get one first cast on that. If I don't, I'll just start working my way out, but then obviously, you know, see how that goes. I might return back to this skimmer line and see if anything settled on that feed, but I'll see what response I get from when I chuck long. Rubbish. Very disappointing. Kibber's just carried on catching steady virtually all day. I honestly think he might have won this zone. He could even win the match if it's fished as hard as what they reckon. I've ended up with, I think I've got 13 skimmers, and some of them are bream, so about three or four of them are proper bream, I'd say. But I think I've got 13 fish. Kibber's, I don't know what weight he's got, but he's got a good weight. He must have 14 skimmers maybe, 3 carp and an F1 as well. He says his tip just kept going round. It just kept going round, so he's caught steady all day. Kibber's got both nets in, so I think he's just on his first weigh now.
30, 29.
You've ever seen?